Whoa. Wow. Technology's incredible. You could press one button and get right into a stream. Wow. All that data, all that information. Look at how many pictures are going from my computer to your computers. Look at everything that's happening right now. I'm moving. Animation. Anything and everything that you could ever imagine. It's all right here, and you could see it. Isn't this wonderful? Isn't this wonderful, Jamie? Isn't this incredible? We are playing. So, sorry. I just needed to hype myself up, so I just needed to spurt out a little bit of nonsense, if that's all right. We're playing Apex for a hot minute. I'm gonna be super real with everyone tonight. I've been lazy tonight. I have been quite lazy tonight. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, at least I think why. I didn't, despite the motto of the stream, I did not get good sleep last night. I was up until, I believe, because I wasn't really keeping track at the end of it, something like 3 in the morning. And I know what you're thinking, like, what are you on about? And the reason is I moved a lot of my stuff around on my desk so that I could have it be hopefully more comfortable, give myself a little bit more space. I have had a jumble of cables and things behind my monitors for a while, and it's just been kind of agitating on some level. Yeah. Oh, hey, welcome back, man. Oh, no, your first time chat. Well, hello. Yeah, you're welcome to next match. Next match, you're welcome to play, man. If you wanna play around. Anyway, yeah, I was up late last night looking at chairs. Oh, I'm not I'm usually always the launch master. I was up last night looking at chairs. You will not believe how asinine it is to look at chairs, and how frustrating it could be. Because, and I know what you're thinking. Well, why don't you just go with the Secret Lab Titan chair that everybody was talking about? That's the thing. I was going to, and so I was like, it's an expensive purchase. I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna look at a bunch of reviews. I looked at somewhere upwards of like 7 different reviews. They were all solid. Everyone was like, this is great. But then on the last video, there was a video that was like, oh man, I don't know about these chairs. And I'm like, okay, this guy must have a reason, right? Like, I mean, everyone else is talking about it very, nicely, and, it's a whole big thing. And I'm like, let's watch it. And he's like, oh, there's other kinds of chairs out there. That was basically his whole argument. It's just, oh, there's other chairs that exist. And I'm like, well, of course there's other chairs. But then after that video, there was another video. And the video said, hey, you should probably get an office chair instead of a gaming chair. And I was like, you don't say. So I click on that video, and then that just takes me down an absolute rabbit hole. They sit there and they go, you should get this chair for this reason, this chair for this reason. And the reason it's so just insane is because every chair manufacturer, every big chair manufacturer, because there are thousands of chair manufacturers, every one of the big chair manufacturers like Herman Miller and all those things, they design each chair in their lineups, and they typically have somewhere upwards of 5 to 10 or more. They design each chair in their lineup to suit a very hyper-specific different need, more or less. And so every chair was different. And so at the end of the night, I was looking at somewhere upwards of 40 some odd plus chairs, anywhere from the range of $300 to $1,500. And I'm just pulling my hair out. I was just like, dude, these chairs, this is the worst. and now I'm sitting here going I don't know if I want an office chair. I don't know if I want, these other chairs. And then it was like, oh man, I think I just appreciate my own chair here at the end of the day because, gosh dang it, that's the easier option than buying chairs and or researching them. So that's that's why I'm being a little goofy today. That's why I'm being a little wild. McLovin's cousin sounds like quite a gentleman. Oh, but anyway, so we're doing Apex. I was gonna do other things tonight, but that's why I'm lazy. That's why I'm a little goofy, a little out of it. I I'm surprised I was able to get through work today, because typically for my work we do like creative stuff, so we end up asking each other a lot of questions over chat, um, and it was. Oh man, it was quite the day. There was so many times I would jump into chat today and just be like, I should say something about this. But then I would read it like 2 or 3 times and I'd be like, that is the silliest thing I could ever say to a group of professionals working on this, you know? And I'm just like, I should probably not say that, you know? But it's all in good fun though, because a lot of them actually, the couple goofy things I did post, at least they did understand. So I've been watching like Game Grumps on and off a lot more recently because they've been doing more like indie games. And I I noticed that a couple images looked like one of their legacy memes, like one of their classics. I can't remember what it was, if it was like Lost World or something, but they were playing. What are you doing? Wow, what? Wow, what? What are you on about? You want this? You want that? What are you on about? You want this? What are you on about? McLovin, this is a situation that's not gonna get any much better. So, oh, he's probably yelling at me for taking the shield. Dude, like whatever. That's probably what it is. I don't care. Take the shield. Go back and get your shield. I don't even care. You just want the shield because you won't be able to get one that's stronger. Oh man, it's at least marginally upsetting when people do that kind of thing, because it's like, it's a team game and I understand I took it, but it was just out of reflex. It wasn't because I was trying to be mean or rude or selfish. It was just reflexive. Anyway. Oh. So they were showing the mic. What on earth? Oh, yeah, there's a bad guy there now. Well, now what are you going to do, McLovin? Now you don't have a proper shield because you didn't notice that I didn't have a shield. Now you're running that way. If he gives me any flack, I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to be very upset at McLovin. I guess I'll just finish this thought, and then I don't think I've never left a competitive match, so I don't think I get any problems from it. For the like hundreds of hours, I've never like purposefully left a match, but I don't know. This guy seems like he's on. This guy seems like he's, I don't know, just struggling a little bit today. Finishing my thought, yeah. So their legacy meme, if you will, was Micruba from a really old game. Again, I forgot the name. I think it's like Lost World or something to that effect. The main protagonist finds himself like jumping through dimensions or like going into space, something to that effect, and he finds this like civilization of big like fleshy people. It's hard to describe. I don't really know any other like creatures or aliens that look very like them. I guess Patrick Star without the points is the best way to describe like the Micruba character. But yeah, to post that chat, and to my surprise, because I thought I was gonna be like the only one who knew who knew anything about that. Like at least 2 or 3 other people on the team were like, "I know what you're talking about. I get it," It made me feel very special because it's like, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. So, yeah, I don't know. It was a good day at work, but then I got off work and just doing a bunch of chores and stuff. And I'm exhausted too, as I'm just like, what do I do? So I sat down and I almost took a nap around about 8 o'clock ish. I almost took a nap about 8 o'clock ish, and yeah, yeah. That's why I am here now, because I sat down and I started watching stuff and I was getting like real sleepy, and then time passed, I got real sleepy, and I have an alarm set to go off at 9 o'clock, and I just didn't hear it, so I pulled my phone out a little bit later, like it's past 9 o'clock, but then I was like really sleepy, so like man, I don't know, should I stream tonight? Should I? So here I am in all reluctance. Um, I think what I'm gonna do, because I did not promise that I was going to be playing Phantasy Star Online, um, but I think I'm going to play it. I think I'm going to play it. I've been really enjoying it. I want to save a story. I want to save a story that I experienced in the game that it's not really a funny story. It's more of a touching, like, kind of story, I think, to some degree. So I want to save that for the actual, for us actually sitting down and playing that. I think I'm going to make this a little bit shorter so that I can make sure that I get to bed on time today. Because I have not been. Um, Hey, oh, you gotta get sniped out. No. You got it, McLovin. You got it. Dude, getting sniped out in this game is the worst. It's the worst feeling because it's like when you're in like the heat of the battle, it's like, you got like your reaction like going and like, you're really moving fast and right, you're trying to track them down and shoot them and move and dodge and all this stuff. But getting sniped out in this game is probably the worst feeling. So hopefully that does not happen to him. Oh, he just left. McBee just left. Alright. Alright, well, it is what it is, I guess. Do I not have this on streamer mode? I'm pretty sure I have this on streamer mode. I thought it's supposed to anonymize everybody unless they're like friends. Schwa, schwa, schwa. Bad draw. Nothing good. I mean, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. Compared to what I have, though, not as good. Let's see. See, you can tell I'm already yawning. It's already happening. What was I doing? Oh, I was checking the settings. Because they have a streamer mode. It says it's on. It says it's on to all. All enemy player names are on. Oh, enemy player names. Oh. Why wouldn't it give you the option to hide people you're playing with? I get it, because it's like, maybe you want to like have them join in and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I did not watch the cinematic for this season, so I actually don't know what's happening with that zombie in the background. I anticipate it probably that there's like some bio situation happening on this planet now, and that's where the weird bat has come from. But I don't know. Apex Legends has a lot of different weird creatures and things that are not like human Earth type creatures. So I don't know. I don't know what this whole thing is. I don't know what the zombie's all about. Maybe I should go watch the actual thing. I don't know. Apex Legends makes a lot of good animations. I think I just haven't been as interested in it. I think here's the thing. End of the day, I absolutely love them no matter what. So take this criticism of the game as a show of my affection because I want it to be a better game. Ultimately, if I'm going to be real, I still want Titanfall 3 instead of Apex. Just because it works more for me, Titanfall, than Apex. But I just want this game to be better, right? And I think what's happening with the cinematics and why I have kind of stopped caring about the cinematics for the most part is they're doing a very Overwatch kind of way of the cinematics, where they'll just like pick some characters that are like fan favorites and that people like, and then they'll just kind of like sit down and be like, all right, we'll find a way to like implement these characters into the animation, and then we gotta like show off the new character, right? You know. And there is, surprisingly, I have looked this up over the time I've been streaming Apex, but there is actually like a surprising amount of depth and lore to a lot of these characters. It's just the way that they present that lore is not as, I guess it's not as approachable for me. And I find that it's okay, because it works for someone, I'm sure, but it just doesn't work for me. And I just, I just don't know that I really care. And even though they're incredible animations and I absolutely love them, there's nothing about the animations that makes me want to come back other than their just inherent quality. And I know that's like, well, that's weird and counterintuitive, but it's like, I don't know, think about it. Like, imagine, like Disney made 40 40 movies of Frozen, you know? At what point do you think people are going to sit there and be like, you know what? Too much Frozen, you know? Not that Frozen's bad, but just like, there can be a little bit too much sometimes, you know? 40 movies of Frozen certainly would be too much. Where are these coming from? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! I did not have a good position here. And so that's just kind of how I feel. It feels like every new animation they make kind of presents a level of disingenuousness to the previous characters that exist, because they need to focus on whatever new character. Oh yeah, there is someone over there. They need to focus on whatever new characters they have going on. How did that not connect? And so they inherently put more time and effort into like giving them screen time, and that's fine and that works, but then it just kind of like every time they come out with a new character, it makes all the other characters just seem less interesting. By approaching it with that strategy, that's how it kind of feels. And to that effect, I think that's just the realistic part of it all. I did hear him. Yeah, he probably... Yeah, he came in through the window or the door there. Oh, you got him. You got him, friend. But yeah, so... I think there's just a moment where there's just too much. And I think the animations that they've been making are great, but it's gotten to a point where there's not a continuum to the animations. They just take all the existing characters and insert them into whatever new narrative fits the new character that they have. And that is just, I don't know. It could be as good as it needs to be, but end of the day, it just gets tiring, and there's just, there's nothing you could do about it. Same thing happened with Overwatch. The exact same thing happened. And I'm comparing it with Overwatch a lot because even though the function of the games are different, goodness gracious.
Yeah, the Ashe is literally fucking one tap.
Alright, he's not coming in here. I'll tell you that. Someone's definitely going to go for his box before I can get over there. Who's being obnoxious like that? Wait. Oh, that's a used one? Okay.
My box as well. Fucking dipshit.
Excuse me? Wow! Wow! Is he... dude, people are getting rough today. People are getting rough. People being rough today, man. That was rude. That was very rude. I don't really have my voice on very high. I should probably honestly turn it off. But he was basically just like getting mad at my buddy here for looting his box, right? And it's just kind of like, okay, he looted your box, and right? Like, what do you expect, man? Like, this is kind of a difficult situation, and the ring's way over there, you know. That was super rude. That was mean. I don't know. There it is. There's my books. There's my books. Get it for goosies. Yes. Excuse me. Oh, man. I think... You know what? I think after this match... Well, okay. I'll do one more match, because we're only at 20 minutes. It's kind of weird to jump immediately from Apex to just another game, so I get that. But I think we're going to go ahead after the next match. I think we're going to jump onto PSO. PSO2 NGS. It's a long title. I'm just going to call it PSO. There's right? Like, I don't know. It's just easier to call it PSO instead of Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. That's a long name. It feels like... And this is... I don't think this is necessarily a new trend by any means, but it feels like it's been a big thing recently. Well, I say recently, within the last like 3-ish years or so. In like the anime manga field, it seems like people are intentionally trying to make their titles as long as possible, and I don't. It is a weird phenomenon that I don't know if I necessarily understand about why they're doing that or why that's appealing. I think if we go back to like the beginning of people doing that, even though I don't know where it started, I could imagine that they would be doing something like that because it's like, yeah, man, it's like a fresh new show, new title, and then they just give you like a sentence for a title. And it's like, yeah, you know what? That jives with me. That works, you know. But I think after that one came out, whatever that first one was, I'm sure that like other people were like, yeah, man, there doesn't need to be like a lot of thought to the title of a show, you know. And so people just started sitting there being like, oh man, my girlfriend is a spider, but also a superhero, but also, you know, right? Like titles that are just like wild like that. I think that has just started to become the norm. And it's fine. It's fine, but it is just still a little odd, I think. Maybe it's like a counterculture thing to some people at this point too, where it's like, that's the guy that killed me! Oh, get the revenge! Never mind. That's fine. He was pretty good. Admittedly, I'm not that great. So, I'm sure a lot of people from my perspective seem pretty good. Especially tonight, and I'm not going to make any promises about that. I actually did just check you out again. It's a coward. What? Isaac Harold. That looks like you jumbled something, like Isekai World or something. I could be wrong on that. I'm gonna actually have to decline your invitation. I really do appreciate you inviting me to come hang out, come play a game. We're only gonna play one more game. I've noticed that when I'm very tired and I've been on the computer all day, regardless of whether or not that's playing video games, I just get terrible at aim. I get terrible at aim. I get terrible at the game. And especially if I've like extra tired like I have today, I feel it. Like all the muscles in my body just feel like gelatin. Just like, you're tired, you idiot. You should have gotten sleep. Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it, this is what you get. I'm gonna turn your body into goo. I'm gonna make you a big goo body. So that's where I am right now. I'm a big goo body person, and not good at aiming, so probably not going to get too far, which is why I think I should cut it out a little early. Plus, I did also, on some vague relevance, suggest that I was going to play a Phantasy Star, so we'll do that. Oh man. Oh, I saw today a video about Switchback. It's one of the competitors in BattleBots. They did a build video with strange parts, showing off how they go through not the entire process of creating a BattleBot, but at least the construction point where they have the full plan laid out and they know what they're going to do, they know what they're going to build, and they've like ordered all the parts, i.e. strange parts as a channel. um, and so they kind of just like went through creating the BattleBot, and it's incredibly fascinating because when you're watching it on screen, it really does just kind of feel like, hey, like that doesn't feel like it's well built, it's getting destroyed, and it's like, no, that just means the other guy has an incredibly good setup for their machine. Because Switchback, I actually have a lot of respect for Switchback. After having watched that video, understanding a little bit more about how they go through the process, even just the build process of their BattleBot, I have a lot of respect for them now. I have a lot of respect for them being open to showing the process. I have a lot of respect for what they do and like how they kind of approached their whole situation with that. Because it's very fascinating to watch, right? I don't know. Maybe I could. I don't know. But anyway, sorry, I had a stray thought just enter the playing field of my brain. You're like a piece of chess. It has found its way to take my queen while I am currently in the pursuit of taking the king and fully getting across. But I don't know where this is going. I'm sorry. I was trying to make my mental slip up sound cooler than it was. But anyway, I have a lot of respect for them. It's a really involved process. There's a lot of moving parts. They are a lot scarier when you watch videos like the one that I saw where they were showing it off, because it really does demonstrate how actually terrifying the machines are and can be. And that just kind of like puts it into a different perspective, I think. Because again, and this is not a low mark on them. I just have my own preferences and have appreciated different bots for other reasons. But before I saw that video, I honestly kind of thought of Switchback as kind of like a higher mid tier, kind of like an A minus or like a B plus kind of bot. If you had to put a number to it, not that I really rank them in that way. I guess in terms of like ranked excitement, that's where I would put it. Because like, even though I think Tombstone has been having issues a lot over the last couple of years, I still put them excitement level at the very top, because it's like, oh man, who knows? Maybe they'll get back into the box and just like totally thrash somebody and split them in half, right? But then again, who knows? They might also sit down and like a wheel will fall off, or they'll break themselves, or they'll get thrown out of the BattleBot, or they'll get set on fire, or tires just won't work. Because that has been like the laundry list of reasons why Tombstone has lost over the last couple of years. I really am hoping that Ray Billings is able to bring it back, to put more into it. Again, I think he just needs more torque and less speed. There is actually a rule on how fast you can spin up your BattleBot. So I do find it odd that he's trying to push that limit instead of considering just, what speed specifically works. But who knows? I mean, even though these guys put a lot of effort into it, some of the older guys, they have a lot of other stuff going on in their lives, you know. Ray Billings specifically, just while he's here, he actually had, I think technically it was like his stepson, but his son essentially, right? Um, he sat down and worked with him, and he actually was in the competition. Like again, I can't remember if it was like 1 year back or 2 years back, but he was actually in the competition. So you know, not only is he like sitting down trying to be a good father, but he's also helping teach somebody that's like, you know, a third of his age or to that effect. I don't know exactly how old the guy was. I don't know exactly how old either of them, but how old either of them are. I can imagine maybe he's in his teens because they probably have limits to registration and stuff. Um, but like he came out onto the field and he did amazing, you know. So he's being a good father. He's also like putting in extra effort to, I'm sure, help him like with the finer details. Um, you know, of like creating the bot and working with it and stuff. And yeah, so it's just like I'm sure the man is incredibly busy, and he probably has like a full-time job otherwise outside of BattleBots. So I could understand where like he probably sits down with his buddies and is like, "All right, what should we do this time?" And they're like, "Well, we only have so much time in our lives, so we can only do this, this, and this," and basically just try to upgrade it, you know, instead of try to work from the ground up to find a newer solution to like the construction of the bot. And you know, I honestly don't think it's the worst thing in the world for them to do that because you know, Tombstone's been winning competitions for many years now, so like if you have something that's working and winning, you might as well just keep it until it super does not. Which I would argue he should probably either go back to his old bot, which would be like kind of counter, or sit down and try to like think of a new bot potentially. Oh, that was spot on! Spot on! Spot on! All right, well, now I don't look, dude. I do this to myself all the time. I just embarrass myself. Where it's like, I'm so good at shooting. Look at how good I am. And then like for the next like couple encounters, I miss every single shot. And then I'll sit there and I'll be like, I'm just, you know, I'm amazing. Or, you know, I'm terrible at this. Like, oh, you know. But then I like start just like slapping them. Just start slapping. I think there's another team over there. I could have sworn I saw more. Yeah. Oh, that felt like it was a headshot. I did get the 3 damage peg on the head, but oh, that was lucky, admittedly. Oops, I fell down. Is that not? No, that's just a bush! That totally looked like the silhouette of a dude. I see your head there, buddy. He's making a move! Now they're talking about how I'm doing good shooting the one guy down. I'm doing terrible. It's just, maybe I should just always say that I'm bad at stuff and that I'll just be good. And that I will just be good. What the goober? What the? Alright, my point is made in its entirety. My point is made in its entirety. Oh, my other guy got down. That's not good. Hey, I know it would make Wattson overpowered, but can we, like, maybe not give the enemy team shields while you put up your thing, man? I don't know. Look at that! 1 kill and 600 damage. Yes! It's actually not that great. Grand scheme of things, even grand scheme of things of like what I've even done on stream. I don't know. That was fun. I actually had a good time. Um, ah, this is the big problem with Apex. This is the big problem. You see, I'll do bad for like 4 or 5 rounds, and then I'll get one good one, and I'll be there like, oh, that good one though, and then I'll sit here and I'll be like, man, I should keep going, you know. It's almost midnight where I'm at. I want to show you guys PSO. There are daily like tasks that happen. So, you know what? I need to stick to my guns. I need to stick to my guns on this one. We're gonna go ahead and call it with Apex, and then we'll circle on back for PSO2. I think I'm gonna have to change some settings. I don't actually know what Twitch's policy is on PSO. There are some probably. I'm there's no nudity or anything, but there are a couple like bikini style things that people can get and show their characters off with. So I might need to adjust a setting or two, so that there's less of that. I don't think there's a way to completely turn it all off, but I think there's a way to reduce the number of people that are on screen to a certain amount. So I'll go ahead and I'll get that set up. This is the transition. It's actually been a while since I've done a transition because last 2 times I think I streamed, it was just straight to an end for the night. We have reached our transition. I'm going to give my little disclaimer here. If you have any actual legitimate questions or concerns, contact your primary care physician. I am not liable for any action taken as a result of following our ba-ba-da-da. This is the big ba-ba-da-da. This this is kind of like our I don't even know what you would call it. It's just a good message I want to get out. I have kind of off and on called it like a motto or like, you know, just like I've said a number of things, but it really is just a good message. It's just a good message, a message of like this is stuff that I feel like is important to me. Hopefully it'll be important to somebody out there and hopefully something good happens. Um, but it's three big things. The first thing is if you have not had a chance to take a break, it's a good time to stand up, walk around, get that blood flowing. Kind of just relax your eyes, you know, take a stretch, right? And then that is something that could easily follow up into our second thing, which is staying hydrated. I always have a water bottle on my desk, something I would at the very least recommend. I'm not your dad, I'm not going to tell you what to drink, but I would highly recommend water at the very minimum. And then, of course, the last thing, and this is the thing that I will actually stress a little bit because it might be a little bit later for some other viewers and folks out there, but is to get sleep, get good sleep, get good, regular, good sleep. Um, if it's late where you are and you're considering going to sleep, it's not something you should really worry too much about. We have a channel up on YouTube. It's in the description. I don't know what you would call it. It's in the subsection below the stream. I'll just refer to it as the description, if you will. That's basically a repository of where I sit down and post previous streams. I would say if it's a question of interacting with and hanging out with us versus getting good sleep, go ahead and get good sleep. Get good sleep, man. Just do it. Just do it. The stream will be there for you. It'll happen. It'll be there in the future. You could view it to all your heart's content. I have actually seen a lot of people have been enjoying. I mean, a lot of people, relative to me, a lot of people have been enjoying the stuff that I put up on YouTube for the most part. So that because it is easier to sit down and watch like an hour or more of somebody doing something and being ridiculous, instead of being there live. Because you know you can't always be there live. I understand 9 o'clock is kind of difficult for a good portion of people, but it works for me. We weren't online at 9 o'clock tonight, which might also be, you know, problematic for some people too, being even later to start the stream. So it is what it is. But that is the last thing. Make sure you stick around. We're going to be checking out. Well, I have played it for quite some time, and I will go into more iteration of that. We will be checking out PSO2 NGS. It's a great game, something I would at the very least recommend if you are considering any kind of MMOs or anything like that. But go ahead, stick around. We will be back. I do like to stop the stream, so it's a lot easier to kind of break up, and it gives you the opportunities to exercise those things if you are interested. So stick with us, and I'll be back.